Hi there, thanks for joining. This is a video on how to complete our Schedule C template. It's relevant if you are a self-employed individual or a freelancer. On the left-hand side, you'll see the general information. This section, you will let us know what type of business you have. If you're a teacher, doctor, lawyer, anything that you see in red, you can ignore. That's for us to fill out later. Please enter your business address, whether that's the same as your home address or if you rent or own an office space that's apart from your home. If you have an EIN, an employer identification number, you'll enter that here, as well as the accounting method and inventory method for your business. Jumping over to the right-hand side, this is where you'll enter income that you've gained through your business from January 1st through December 31st. And that's all inclusive, all income that you've earned. This section is cost of goods sold, and it's relevant if your business has a product or service to sell. So if that is what your business does, then you can enter all expenses that were incurred to produce goods sold or the services that were sold. Underneath that is expenses. So if you see any of these expenses and you know that they're relevant to your tax year, then please enter them in column F here. These will offset your gross income and will help lower your net income, so your tax liability is lower. Again, anything that you see in red, you can ignore. And if you have expenses that you don't see in this category, in any of these categories, then you can enter them down here and we will happily enter them into your tax return if we are allowed to. Going back up to the left side, if you received any income on form 1099, MIS, as in miscellaneous, or NEC, 1099 NEC, then please enter the payer name and how much you were compensated. Underneath are fixed asset details. So these expenses are bigger expenses. If you bought machinery or a new computer, then you'll enter those type of expenses here. And rather than entering them as an expense in your tax report, we will depreciate the value. So you'll need to make sure to put in the date placed in service. It's not necessarily the date you bought it, but the date that you started using it for your business and the cost. As far as vehicle expenses, the IRS is very particular about what we're allowed to enter. You need to make sure that you have receipts and proof of each expense. So if you don't have those things, then that's really not relevant. If you do, you can enter this information. The description of the vehicle is just what kind of car you drive. And it's important to note that commuting is not a vehicle expense. You can only enter expenses if you go to see a client, if you go from your home to a client, or if you go from your office to a client, or to a job site. That is also relevant. But simply going back and forth from home to work is not here. It's not relevant. Lastly is the business use of home, and that's this section. So here it's only relevant if you have a room in your home that is specific to your business, that no other personal activity goes on in that room, and it's only a room dedicated to conducting business. So if that's the case, you'll need to enter the business use area and the total home area, and we will calculate the total expense as the simplified method. There's also another way of calculating business expenses through the actual expense method, and we will use whatever benefits you the most. Just keep in mind that when you enter expenses here, you'll need to enter the full value. Do not allocate per business portion. We want the entire house rent and the entire maintenance and repair that you used on your house and so on. And then we will do the allocation. So I hope this goes over all questions that you could have had. If you have others, please let me know. I'm happy to help. And good luck completing this template.